What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla SPY, and the overall market. I'm also going to talk about why NIO's deliveries were quite strong and how this helped the share price end up being in the green, up over 4.36%. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, as far as the market's going, as far as NIO is going, we're in a range right here. We have to see if we can break past this 4.8 area. If that breaks, we're going to be looking for a lot more upside, especially as we have this gap to fill up here. Now, if we lose support at 4.5, however, there's going to be a risk of us coming back down. Overall, we'll be watching to see if these levels end up holding up. But just know that the deliveries were quite strong. They delivered 31,138 vehicles in December of 2024. That's a new monthly high, representing an increase of 72.9% year over year. The deliveries consisted of 20,610 vehicles from the company's premium smart electric brand NIO, and 10,500 came from their family-oriented smart EV brand Onvo. So very awesome stuff. In total, they delivered 72,689 vehicles in the fourth quarter. That is meeting expectations with a 45.2% increase year over year. And for the full year of 2024, they delivered 221,970 vehicles. That's also an increase of 38.7% year over year. Total deliveries for the company are now at over 671,000 as of December 31st, 2024. Amazing, amazing news. Great job by the NIO team. We have more data right here. So this is what they were telling us right here. They were consistently doing above 20,000 units in deliveries. Now it's continuing to grow. And if you look at the chart right here, you guys can see the monthly deliveries. So look at how they were doing consistent 20,000 months from May up until November. And then in December, instead of 20,000, they actually did 31,000. So very strong delivery month. This is well above the 18,000 they did last year in December. So great growth overall. On top of this, we have more charts to be looking at. So if you look at the total sales from them, the Onvo brand started coming out very recently, and this is what helped reach the 10,000 mark. When you combine everything together, that's how you get this like big increase with NIO and Onvo together, putting their total at a new all-time high. If you look at Onvo's sales, they're continuing to increase every single month. We're now surpassing the 10,000 mark. That is great news for them. NIO's brand, and when it comes to monthly deliveries, is also on a nice uptrend. So good job by NIO itself. So very awesome. So if you combine NIO and Onvo together, that's how you get to 30,000. And then this is their monthly deliveries in total, the big increase for the month of December. I'm hoping we see consistent growth. And lastly, this is their annual deliveries. This chart shows us how their deliveries are looking on an annual basis. So going back as recent as during the pandemic, they're only doing like 40,000 deliveries a year. They were very small back then. Right up until 2022, they were only doing barely a little bit over 100,000. And then last year they did 160,000, and this year they did 222,000. So nice increase every single year. They're hoping that they could double these numbers up as well as we approach next year. And to achieve that, they're going to be looking for their new sub brands to continue to get those sales up. They're also planning on building another factory. So now the question is, now that they're starting to scale, okay, it's very awesome to see that. However, to really get the share price moving, where is the profitability? That's what we're going to be waiting for. Can they get those margins to improve? And can we see profitability soon? NIO is hoping that they could be achieving it as soon as 2026. So if they achieve that, and the closer we get to profitability, the more bullish it's going to be. They're not that far away from it when you look at their earnings, but they're getting a lot of improvements. So very awesome to see. Their step one is done. They're getting the sales up. They have demand, especially as they're starting to conquer the Middle East. So very awesome stuff in my opinion, especially as their sales are increasing in that region. So sales are going up. There's demand clearly there, but let's get the profitability margins. We need to get those margins up. We need to see them improve, and that's going to be a lot better for them. Goldman Sachs gave us a sell rating. They haven't really changed anything since then. The price-price ratio remains flat for now. And then we also had about 62.6 million in volume. That's above average, so not bad. Short volume is very flat right now nonetheless. As far as the broader market goes, just know that there's nothing significant coming out for earnings. And in terms of our economic calendar, at 10 o'clock a.m., we do have some data coming out. That's when we have some manufacturing numbers. Besides that, there's nothing else coming out tomorrow. So just wait for volatility 30 minutes after market open. There's nothing else for earnings. So with that being said, let's focus on the share prices. NIO did very well with deliveries, but I want to see them break 4.8. We came short of doing that today. Our main support's at 4.5. I want to see us try to hold above that. If we lose 4.5, we're looking for a retest of 4.4. But if we manage to break 4.8, we're looking for a breakout right here. We have a nice W pattern forming a double bottom, which tends to lead to more upside if we get that bounce. So we're going to be looking for an attempt to get up to 4.8, if not this resistance around 5. I think there's a very, very good chance we could be achieving that. I hope that NIO achieves that. I think there's a good chance we push for 4.8, and I feel very, very confident in their ability to do so. So look for an attempt to push tomorrow, but then we'll have to see what the reaction is. As far as SPY goes, the 4 hour has the head and shoulders, but we're not officially losing support yet. We're still barely holding this like 584.6 area. We're still below 585, which tends to be more bearish. But just to be very, very safe, if we could reclaim 590, we turn back up. If we can't reclaim at least 590, there's a good chance this is going to continue to reject and continue to dip. The setup does look a bit more bearish, but look for a rebound in the morning, possibly a dip back down to 580. There are buyers defending 577 to 580, so if we do dip here, we might try to bounce again and just remain range bound between 580 and about 586 as the most likely possibility. Look for a pop tomorrow morning. We might try to retest 588, then we could shuffle and start slowing back down to 580 to 577. Then we could bounce off that and just continue our day from there. For ES, this has a very, very similar setup. Now, I do want to call out that there's a head and shoulders, but we made equal lows here. So as long as we don't lose 58.80, there could be a small rebound coming tomorrow morning for 59.50. And if we can't break past our 20 EMA at 59.63, it could just be a lower high and a rejection. So look for an attempt to bounce, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get. For Nvidia, we're on a bit of a downtrend, making lower highs. There is a possible inverse head and shoulders setup that could lead to a bigger bounce, but we need to see if this could bounce off the 137 area to start pushing higher for like 140 plus. If we break 142, there's going to be a bigger breakout to 146. If we can't do that, we're just going to remain range bound. Look for a test of 137. We'll see if we bounce or not, and give this the time it needs. There's an inverse head and shoulder setup, but I do think that this is going to be retesting 136, and we remain range bound for now. Break 140, 142, we turn bullish. Lose 136, we turn back down. There might be a test of 136, so just give this some time to develop, and we'll see if we could get a bounce or not. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin's turning more bullish. We'll have to see if we can break 98,000 to push up to about 100,000. If you reject, you're looking for a move back down to 95,000. I'm hoping we try to continue to push close to about 98,000, so give this the time it needs. For other stocks, such as Tesla, Tesla has a lower high that's being made right here. We're watching to see what's going to happen with this 363 area. This is also happens to be where the breakout was from the cup and handle back here. So to me, it looks a little bit bearish. There should be an attempt to rebound after so much downside already. We might try to retest the 386 area or so, but then we could always reject and come back down to 363 to find that bottom. I don't think we're done yet with the downside. I think there's a little bit more to go before this thing tries to rebound. Why is Tesla down? Because they did 495,000 deliveries. Wall Street was expecting 506,000. They came a little bit short, so that's why the share price is a little bit more negative. NQ is on a bit of a downtrend. It's trying to rebound. Just look for an attempt to rebound tomorrow morning to about 21,200. If it can't hold above that, it could still reject and make its way back down to the lower 21,000s. QQQ is on a bit of a downtrend. We have to see if it could hold above at 511. If not, there's going to be a risk of us coming down to 505. For Aapl is also on a bit of a downtrend here. We're very close to about that 240 area. I think we may visit 240 before it tries to bounce. There might be a little bit more downside coming, especially with the negative Chinese news that's come out. The Russell will look a little bit weaker. There's a possible head and shoulders on the 4-hour time frame. Unless we get back above 224, this is favoring a move back down to about 220 and eventually 218 for more downside. For coin, we're very flat right now. We have 262 as tough resistance, and then we have this support to watch for at 253. We're stuck in the middle so far. We do have this gap to fill below if we do get a rejection, so give this the time it needs. For Amazon, Amazon has a head and shoulders right over here. If we start dipping here, we're looking for 218 as our target and eventually that 216 area. So we'll have to see. We'll also see if we can reclaim 223 to turn back up. Otherwise, it looks a little bit more bearish. For Meta, we have an inverse cup and handle right here. We have to see if we can try to hold above 600. Otherwise, we're going to be favoring move back down to 596 and eventually 589. So there might be a small dip coming. We'll see what kind of reaction we get. So give this some time to develop, but it does look a bit more bearish. Microsoft's on a bit of a downtrend. We are continuing to fall right here, back down to about 415. So I see a risk of that dipping lower. And then Google also has a head and shoulders. There's a left shoulder here, a head and then a right shoulder. If we can't hold above 192, we're going to be favoring move back down towards 188 or below. So I think that for now, we are still favoring the downside moves. So please keep that in mind, guys. That's what we're seeing. The VIX is also looking a bit more bullish. There's no sign of this thing losing support at 16.5 yet. So for now, the market looks like it may push a bit then dip. But just be careful. because of the fact that there's a lot of weakness that's developing. With that being said, as far as NIO goes, I'm hoping that NIO outperforms the market and tries to get back above 4.8. We may try to test that tomorrow, but we'll see if we break it or not, as we're still technically range bound. The deliveries are quite decent, so let's hope that it helps this thing push and break past resistance. So we'll give this the time it needs. With that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening. So please have a good rest of your day. I'll be back very soon in just a couple of hours. Or not a couple of hours, by tomorrow I'll be back. Thank you for listening, and peace out.